All right, what's going on, guys? Your boy King Red Diamonds, and I'm back for another Neo 2 video. Today, I decided I was going to do a small, short series for newer players, and also for some, players who've already been around for a while. Just to, give you a refresher on certain aspects of the game that you may need help on, some aspects you may not be clear on, and also to point you in the right direction of what to do in the early game, as well as late game, because everything matters no matter what part of the game you're in, whether early game or late game. So everything matters. Certain things you'll learn, certain things you'll know. Oh, okay, maybe this goes this way, this it works this way. So I'm here to explain that because I've played this game a lot in the past couple years, so I know a good amount about it. But before we get into it, please ask that you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for helping me hit 1,000 subs. It means the world to me. So continue to work with me, and I hope we can, just keep on moving, keep on pushing, and grow the channel. But without further ado, I'm going to get into it. So today I'm going to go over leveling. Leveling is a very important thing in this game because obviously it determines how powerful your character is. The more levels you've advanced, the more powerful your character becomes, plain and simple. Um, what we're doing is we're going over each and every stat and each and every thing that it affects. I'm going to walk you through it. The game pretty much helps you out because at the bottom of the screen, you can see that it tells you exactly what every single stat does and what it affects. Sometimes it may not seem clear to you, but I'm here to help you out with that. So again, like, comment, subscribe, and let's do it. So our first stat is Constitution. Constitution affects your life, as you can see. It also affects your resistance to poisons and paralysis. Those aren't really too important because there are things you can use to combat those. The most important thing you need to worry about is the life and which weapon it affects. Now, each and every single stat affects a certain weapon, depending on which weapon you use. As you can see, the Constitution stat affects the spear, and it also gives you more life. Plain and simple. So the more Constitution you have, the more life you have, the more powerful your spear weapon will be. Next, we have Heart. Heart affects the amount of ki you have. It also affects your sword and bow weapons. Okay, that's pretty much what Heart is for. Heart affects your sword and bow weapons. All right. Next, we have Courage. Courage affects your key recovery speed, and it affects your tonfa weapon. Stamina affects your life and your maximum equipment weight. Now you may be thinking, I thought Constitution affected life. It does. Stamina affects your life as well, but not as much as Constitution. The amount of life you get from putting your stamina, say from 5 to 10, is around 115. Okay? But the amount of life you get from putting your Constitution from 5 to 10 is 170. So you get way more. You get way more back on Constitution than you do on stamina. Even though it tells you it affects your life, it does not affect it as much as Constitution. All right. Next, we have Strength. The Strength stat allows you to meet the stat requirements to wear heavy gear. Okay. Certain pieces of gear have requirements that you have to meet stat-wise in order to actually wear them. For example, if you wear a piece of gear if you have a piece of gear that has the requirement of 7 strength and 7 stamina, if you do not meet those requirements in your stat category, you cannot get the benefits of that piece of gear. Now, I'm not saying you can't wear that piece of gear, but you can't get the benefits of it. All right. So make sure that you're meeting the stat requirements for your armor whenever you're choosing armor to wear. All right. Strength also affects your Odachi and fist weapons. Next is Skill. Skill allows you to hit those stat requirements to wear light armor. Just as Strength allows you to wear heavy armor, Skill allows you to wear light armor. And it also affects your dual swords, hatchets, and rifle. Dexterity is for your ninjutsu skills. It pretty much makes them more effective and allows you to hold more of them the more you have in dexterity. And it also affects the damage of your Kusarigama weapons. Next is Magic, which is self-explanatory, obviously. Magic it just helps you pretty much increase the effectiveness and the amount of magic you can carry. It also affects the Switchglaive and the Split Staff. All right. So that is what each stat does. Again, at the bottom of the screen, it pretty much gives you a rundown and tells you exactly which stat does what. But some people sometimes just need, a little bit more help in explaining what they do. Now, It's something that I do want to address because I know I'm going to have a couple. It's going to be a couple questions. If I don't address it, there's going to be a game just downloaded. Hilarious. Um, there's going to be a couple questions about certain things that you may see, such as when you saw that stamina affected your life as well as constitution. Um, every single stat affects your life. Now, you might be thinking, what do you mean by that? Every single stat affects your life because no matter what stat you put up, it'll give you a bonus to your life no matter what. As you can see, if I put up Constitution, obviously it gives me a bonus to life. If I put up Heart, you see that I actually got a bonus to life as well. If I do Constitution, it also gives me a bonus to life. So on and so forth. Every single stat will give me a bonus to life, as you can see. Literally every single stat will give me some type of points in life. Constitution is just the stat that strictly, influences how much life you get. That's why you get so much in return for Constitution rather than any other stat. All right. So don't be alarmed. Don't be like, oh, well, this stat right here gives me life as well. Yes, every single stat gives you life, but Constitution is the main stat that gives you life. All right. So keep that in mind. Now, when leveling in this game, you want to make sure that you put as much points into the weapon that you're using stat um, before anything else. Honestly, I would say for a beginner, start off with putting your constitution to around 10. Right, 10 is what is known as the soft cap. Um, Anybody who's played any type of RPG games knows what soft cap means, pretty much. But if you don't know what soft cap means pretty much it refers to the minimum requirement to basically um, it refers to minimum requirement to basically reach a good raise in your stats, right? So basically, if you hit 10, that is the minimum requirement to hit a big jump in stats. Okay, from 5 to 10 is a huge jump in stats. You get 170, right? You get 170. It's a big jump in stats, strictly from going from 5 to 10. Big jump. Okay, now, if I go from 10 to maybe 20, the jump may not be as big. It may not be as large as it would be from 5 to 10 because 10 is the soft cap. All right. Now, raising it up higher, obviously, you're going to have higher. Raising it up higher obviously means you're going to increase your health by a lot more. But 10 is a good starting ground for any newer player. Okay. That's what I would recommend going with. I would recommend going with 10 on your Constitution stat because that'll help you meet a good amount of health. Now, obviously, when you upgrade other stats, your health will increase even more. As you can see, my health is going to keep on going up no matter what. If I put all these to 10, my health is still going to increase regardless. So I say get a Constitution to 10 first because it gives you the biggest jump out of all the stats. If I increase, like as you can, like I said, it went up to 170. If I go with my heart up to 10, I only go up by 30. Okay, you can see the big jump from Constitution 5 to 10 rather than from heart up to 10, or even courage up to 10. It's only 50. Like the jump is not as much. Even with stamina that says it affects your life, it's 115, but it's not 170. So again, whenever you're making your build or making your character in your first playthrough in an early game, I would increase my constitution stat to around 10 to give me the biggest jump in health I can get. All right. After you do this, you want to focus on the weapon that you're using. So if you're using the sword, the next stat you want to get up is your heart, right? Because that's what affects your sword. So you want to push that up as high as you can until you reach, probably, I would say, a good cap, for um, a weapon that you're using will probably be around 20, right? 20 is a pretty decent cap for weapons early in game. After you hit 20, you can deal with a lot of enemies, maybe like in the first region or so, no problem. After you hit the 20 cap, then you can start focusing on other things like maybe stamina, strength, skill, something like that to help you wear certain equipment. because the equipment makes a big deal in this game. But I'm not going to go over that right now because I'm just focusing on the leveling and going over stats and stuff. So make sure when you're increasing the stats of your character, you're taking into account how much health you're taking into account how much health you want to put on the person, and then you're focusing on the damage of your weapon. But in terms of stats, that's pretty much it when it comes to those. Like you don't have to. You're not going to be worried about maximizing your build because you're in the beginning of the game. You have so much time. You have a whole bunch of time to level up. You have a whole bunch of missions and stuff to do before you decide that you want to go into making builds and stuff. So this is just a basis guide to help you understand what each stat does to make sure that you know which where you want to allocate your points. You don't want to put your point. You don't want to just randomly put points here and then you want to go here and then you want to do this and then you got this going on, and then by the time you get to like level 20, you have your stats looking something like this and stuff like right here. Like it's going to be confusing because you're just going to be putting random points in places and you're like, okay, why am I not doing enough damage, or why am I running out of keys so fast, or why can't I wear this piece of gear? Because you're not putting your points in the right places. So make sure when you're going through and you're looking at your stats of each character, you're making sure that you're taking into account which stats are giving you the best return. They give you the best bang for your buck, basically. Okay. So that's pretty much it for the stats wise portion. You don't have to worry about anything else. Just make sure again that you're looking at which stats affect what on your character. Again, Constitution is life, heart is key, courage is key recovery, stamina is your equipment weight, strength helps you wear heavy armor, skill helps you wear light armor, dexterity is ninjutsu, and magic is obviously magic. But if you guys have any questions about this, let me know. I thank you guys so much. It's King Ray Diamonds, and I'm out.